Look, what I'll say is a lot of customers understand that they need to start utilizing AI. And, there's always the commentary around if you're not on AI, then you're going to be left behind. It's definitely what I'm seeing is it's a board level rush, right? And this is really around efficiency leading to some poor technical choices, if I'm completely honest. So boards are definitely looking for those productivity gains. And what we're seeing is a lot of organizations really trying to install the roof without pouring any of the foundations, if you will, if I could use that analogy. And what's really at stake here is it's around system integrity. So again, the National AI Plan is great in terms of, and it's a huge win, I feel, again, is it professionalizes the sector. And so with the launch of that AI Safety Institute as well, what we're seeing is that shift towards that meaningful accountability. And that really is around ensuring a lot of the guardrails are in place for our customers. So why I say that, though, is I think there is a bit of a readiness gap. So if you think about governance and resilience, this is where we see risks to organizations not being ready in terms of adopting. So the reality is that very few organizations are clear on exactly what problems that AI agents are trying to solve for them. And even fewer, unfortunately, are ready for any of that data governance and that resilience perspective. So what's really important here to understand, though, is that just focusing on AI being the brain is not the be-all and end-all. We need to also focus on what I like to call the nervous system, and that is the data. And that's really where a lot of that cleansing really needs to happen. So governance, I think, is extremely important. And governance can sometimes get a pretty bad rap being thought of as a speed hump. But it really is an insurance policy, because without that data resilience, a single agent, for example, can malfunction, and that can really cascade right across the whole system. So you need to put in time recovery, like a point in time recovery, and also have some of that strict action boundaries so that the agent, if the agent at all makes an error, that the business shouldn't be able to just be stopped in its tracks or stopped. It can continue on its business.
Yeah, it's like having people are saying they're having like little. I feel like the word is wrong, but it's like a sandbox, like having their own little like AI playpen, being like, all right, well, let's use the AI in this section of the data, and if it messes up, it's not gonna shut everything down. But it's interesting, you're talking about, AI and data being that nervous system. I really like that. I mean, you're not the first person to say, people don't have a good data governance, and that's a big problem. But I mean, it's been happening people have been talking about this for the past couple of years. I mean, are you getting a bit tired of saying the same thing over and over again? Do you think the message is going through that people need to tidy up their data, or that I feel like there's a bit of a chasm between like data governance and like the message that partners are trying to deliver at the moment?
There is a little bit of a gap, yeah. So am I getting tired of it? Not really. I think it's part and parcel of the whole education process that we are obliged to in the ecosystem, right? Again, as a systems integrator, as a technologist, as somebody who loves what I do, and Logicalis being the architects of change, this is part and parcel of everyday conversations. Is it misunderstood? I believe that in some cases it can be, but it's not through malice. It really is through current constraints within the organization, or it could be a lack of leadership or focus in that area. So it is something that does need to be really understood and thought about and invested in a lot more than it has. And we only need to look to some of the cyber breaches that have happened and some of the amount of information, and that will really lead to the answer and a solution really around how do we get that data integrity.